Good morning, Adhpa here. It's Monday. It is December the 9th. I wanted to come on and talk today a little bit about sort of what people are going through in the light worker community. There's a lot of posting online and a lot of tarot readings to help people because people are struggling, particularly at this time with things that are going on that they don't agree with. Sometimes they do agree with. Whatever's going on, people are struggling. And so I put a little bit of read on this the other day to get to some intuition, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what are the unique challenges to being a light worker when there is a lot of really negative energy around, a lot of negative actions being taken by people are concerned about because they believe it's going to affect them personally, and it very well may. So I thought I would start with sort of a tenet of the teachings as I've learned them and applied them regarding energy. And one of the first things you kind of encounter on that path is the saying, you may have heard this before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And this is a simple saying, but there's a lot of depth to that saying. When we're on the path to enlightenment and we're still not taking agency of our own manifestations of the energy, what we admit, how we act, being in full control of this and how we present and act in the world and create, you could say that's before enlightenment. And I say that because once you've achieved that inner agency, you'll never go back to what was before, because all that struggle for control, once you have actual self-control and self-agency, is not a struggle anymore. It disappears. And that's the kind of struggle that affects most people for the most of their life. So once you achieve enlightenment, you don't want to go back. But before you do, there's a path and a process you would go through that's gradually bringing you closer and closer to that. And as you get closer to it, you get more internal satisfaction and contentment with life. And so when you reach that point of some enlightened epiphany that really opens your eyes to your own agency and puts that power into your hands, it is often an ethereal moment, a divine moment. People talk about being transcended. There's a sensation that goes with that is just otherworldly, and you can have all kinds of experiences of intuition and knowledge come in as you're going through that, unlike anything that had ever passed before in your life. And it really is a beautiful, beautiful moment for people. After you've achieved that moment doesn't hang around and become everything about you. You're still in the world, and the world is still full of people that have not reached that agency and therefore are doing things that harm each other and harm themselves, and indeed may harm you or have harmed you in the past, as certainly I can empathize with that. So the struggle to continue to, as it were, chop wood and carry water after enlightenment is that of being burdened by an additional awareness of how much better things truly can be, in a very simple acceptance of humanity, of their being, and every individual being enlightened, how amazing things can be. And once you've witnessed that, to come back and see the struggle, the pot where this stew is being made with all of its problems, is difficult, it's hard. So the reading I got was sort of indicating that those people who are now about to suffer the consequences of actions they've taken, will find that it leads them towards enlightenment. And so in that sense, they're about to have a beautiful journey. And when they reach their enlightenment, that'll be an incredibly beautiful thing for people who have up until now not been part of the spiritual community, or not connected, or not fully an agency of it. So that will be really incredible. In the meantime, those people who have achieved that internal agency and have to witness and experience all the trouble that's going to be made, the consequences that are being made by people who aren't in full agency, it feels like people are constantly putting up barriers in front of light workers because they have to be in this same turbulent mix. So it's hard. It's hard. But you have to understand what's coming. And then what comes for a light worker who is out there on a trail ahead, turning around, showing the way, when all those come and something is achieved, that satisfaction is what we have to look forward to. But we have to be strong, and we have to stay connected, and we have to walk in agency, and we have to be that way even when everything else is the difficult way that it has been. So based on that, I'd like to do a little reading with the tarot cards to give us some guidance. What can light workers know at this time to help them move on their journey? And I'm going to use some combination of cards, some tarot as well as some oracle cards to help give us maybe a little bit of hope and to support and to honor you. If you are one who's working on your own self-agency, you truly are saving the planet, and just walking that way as one point of light is essential to saving the planet. And it's in your hands to do it in your world, and it truly, truly, truly does make a difference for the whole world. So I hope that this reading can help encourage us all to continue to be the light. Okay, hold on, and I'll bring you down to the cards. All right, so first of all, the decks we're going to use here. So I've got oracle cards from the Sacred Path, Jamie Sands. Also oracle cards from Sacred Medicine, Aisha Frost. And then I'll be doing my main reading from Palladini's Aquarian Tarot, tried and true. Good for light workers as we're going into this Aquarian season. All right, let me get organized here. I have shuffled these decks, but I'll do a little more shuffling here before I do a reading. Yeah, let me just clear the table a little bit here and get everything set up for the reading. We'll be right back. All right, so we'll start with the reading, and then we'll do the oracle cards at the end. So I'm going to focus in here on reading what do the light workers need to know as we go through the next week to help them on their good paths, whatever their good paths might be. All right, focus in. All right. So, that's very interesting. So for the signifier, we get the Six of Swords. And this is typically a card of, you could think of it as the person, the journeyman who knows the way, carrying along other people with him. They're thinking. Swords represent the air, thoughts, thinking, mental things. So in the reverse position, we're wanting to bring people along, but we're feeling that we're not bringing people along, or people aren't coming along. The challenge card, Two of Pentacles. Pentacles is a card that represents the body, the physical well-being, health of the body, material well-being. The two is juggling these. He's considering as he's weighing them, and they're tied together so that the well-being of one is tied to the well-being of the other. They're in this cycle. So we as light workers are affecting people who are struggling to come along to agency, but they are also affecting us. And you can see one is weighing the other one down, as it were, and we're in this process. Our challenge is to balance that, to keep it connected without being pulled down. So that's the challenge we face. The base of it, and what we have control of, is the Ace of Swords. We have agency over that truth. The Ace of Swords represents, a new truth, a higher truth, a divine truth, a truth that stands on its own regardless of emotion. And that is something that we have to stand on. We have our understanding of divine truths from our paths in the agency we've achieved so far. The past that's affecting the moment is the Eight of Pentacles. And this is that, we've been working very hard for a long time on this. This is the apprentice. We have prepared. We have manifested. We have created well-being. We have done this. We know how to do it. We can replicate it. And that's what we're coming to this moment with. We have that understanding and knowledge and experience to manifest, and are creating. We're working on it, creating great things of great value to humanity, health, the body, material well-being as well. The crowning card, and the card that we can't control that is over this, is the Magician. And I find that very interesting that this is one of the other cards in the deck, one of the two cards, I think, that has the infinity symbol. So, and this is the ultimate manifester. It's the first card. The very first card is a 0, and that's the Fool, and that's who's taking this journey through the tarot. And the first card that is met by the Fool is the Magician. This is the power to manifest. This is the essential driving manifestation ability that allows us to live and have a journey and walk a path at all. And we cannot control that every other individual has that. Every individual comes in to their journey having started in the role of the magician of their own lives. So we can do what we can do for ourselves, but we cannot control how other people will manifest. What that is leading us to is a tower moment. If we as light workers cannot release an attempt to control other people and force the situation, it'll be a personal tower. If we stand in our own light and walk, the unenlightened that are creating consequences that are a detriment to their very well-being and manifestations will create a tower moment for them. And we will be in the area around it. We will experience some of those falling parts of the tower. What is happening here is that we have reached in this challenge, we have reached this point in the infinity symbol, perhaps in the center, and something's going to give one way or the other. Something's got to give. How we see ourselves in relation to this, 10 of Rods. We're struggling. We are carrying the wands. That's passion, heart, fire. It's the growth. It's the actual life force growth that creates passion, actions. So this is very much the card of force, you would think that swords are, but swords slice through the need for force in a sense. But the rods, the wands themselves, are that life force deck, and we're in a point of struggle, but we're at the end. This is the 10 of Wands. We're about to step into something new, and we've been carrying along these passions for higher consciousness. And yes, it's hard, but that struggle is worth it, and we will get there. The environment in which we sit is the 5 of Rods. Sometimes people consider this to be a card of fighting, but these people aren't fighting. They're just all pulling in different directions. They all have their individual passions, and they're not working with each other. They're not working in a way that creates balance. They're creating chaos. They're all pulling in different directions. And that's the environment in which we sit. Here we are carrying them all together, keeping them together and straight and powerful in a bundle. Much harder to break a bundle of straw than an individual straw. And here all around us, everybody's going their own way, their own direction. Hopes and fears, Knight of Swords. This is a rash actor. This is rash thinking and its ills and its benefits. Sometimes we can have an epiphany. It's a rash, radical thought that changes the world for the better. But if we don't have due consideration and process before we engage, there can be unintended consequences as well as the good. Witness the history of the atom, our research into the atom and splitting the atom and the warfare that's come from that. So we both hope and fear in someone fixing it. We want someone to fix things. We know they're really off balance, and we think they can be fixed quickly if someone can just jump in and fix it. But we also understand and are aware that such rash actions in nature are few and far between. They happen, and they need to happen for the right purpose and in the right way. So it takes full consideration. The outcome card, we have Judgment. And I'm just pulling off the top here, so I'm not doing anything special from the deck. I should have had it out here where you could see me pull them. But okay, so the Judgment card, sounds like what it is. We're coming to a moment where consequences are going to illuminate the areas for keeping that are serving us and those that are not. There's going to be a separation of the wheat from the chaff, as it were. Now, at the base of the deck is the King of Cups. Kings in the deck represent external agency over that particular cup or actions. They can also represent a person, and the King of Cups is cups is the spiritual, sign in the deck. It represents sort of the depths of spirit and the waters that connect all things, the energy that connects all things, that runs through us and modulates and resonates and flows, and its emotions. I mean, all the decks, all of the suits will have emotions in them, but with the cups in particular, um, you think of that deep water person, a deeply reflective, but also deeply connected to their own emotions, and how they're acting from that. So the King of Cups, in terms of a leader for us, is sort of the 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 king who can bring the medicine. But this is not the thinking king, as it were. This is a little bit arbitrary. The king is moved by the spirit. So there is some level of potential lack of control in this. So there is a sense in this of everybody wants to be their own King of Cups. That's one thing. But may not be, in fact, taking the medicine they're handing out. There's also a sense of it in people want a king who will give them the medicine to fix everything. There's a sense in this of the great actions of doctors in medicine as well, those kinds of sciences. Um, so having this at the base of the deck, I think in this reading in particular, talking about light workers, represents that external, we have to take the actions for healing. We have to be in full agency over our own healing, our own King of Cups, and bring about our own healing. Okay, now I'm going to pull out here. The next one is going to be the Sacred Path cards. Let me clear the table here, and then I'll pull an oracle card. All right. So I like these path cards, and I'm just going to pull one for us to give us an idea of where we are. There is a book that goes along with this, and quite an extensive reading in the book. I will pull a meaning from the book, but I'll also give you my intuitive take on the card. Okay, card. I'm going to focus in here now on a card for the collective light workers at this time. Oops, sorry about that. Got my camera, hit my camera. All right, so we had a card flip out. Oh, that's very beautiful. The South Shield. You see that with the wolf in the shield? Innocence, inner child. So in the South Shield, the South is the direction of the body. It's marries up with the Tarot's pentacles. The South shields that innocent inner child. When we come into life as a child and you're born, your spirit is fully actuated. There is nothing for your spirit to learn. Your spirit comes in fully informed. And then life is a process of protecting that, shielding that, and growing and developing and experiencing the lessons of life. So here, let me bring you over to me a second, and I'll read you the teaching on that. Okay, so South Shield is the shield of the child within, as well as the place where physical life begins. Red, the color of faith, is the color of the South on the medicine wheel or sacred hoop. From south to north, the good red road of our earth walk leads us to the experiences that give us understanding of living in harmony. So I like that very much. There is also a poem for it, or a haiku, and it is Red Earth, South Shield. Child, filled with wonder, teach me to yield. Laughter is your giveaway in innocence and joy, tricking me into the place of the little girls and boys. So, the guidance is here is let laughter trick you into innocence again, and shield that space, protect that space in the world, because that is the seed of your life and all life that continues to flow and grow in you. And I think there gives also an application here at the end. I'll read the whole application. The South Shield card marks a time of returning to the childlike parts of self that need no support from the ego. Look how you can be humble in the present situation. Balance work with play and sacredness with irreverence. In other words, you'll need to lighten up and drop the uptight parts of self before you can continue. This may be a time to get some physical exercise, loosen up tight muscles, laugh. Loosen up your sophisticated garbage. Laugh it off, let it go. Stop holding on so tight. Stop holding on so tight. Put that burden down. Your passion is in your heart, in your walk. Don't carry anyone else's burdens. But walk with your passion in a good way, that they may also learn or find their path. So, I think this is, remember your inner child on that one. All right, so then we'll go down and do the Aisha Frost and pull a Sacred Medicine Oracle card as well. Hold tight. All righty, give these a little shuffle. And we'll do a 3-card draw from this to give us just a direction, some, oops, oh, those are the ones that want to come. There's no doubt about it. All right, and just 3. When the cards want what the cards want, the cards get what the cards want. Okay, so the first card we get is Full Spirit Moon, Shine. And then followed by Rainbow Activation, Authenticity. And then Reclamation, Home. That's really beautiful. And what that says to me is even in the dark, the moon shines. So when we're in the darkness, be that full moon. Be that full moonlight and shine. Shine anyway. Find the sun. Face the sun and shine anyway. Activate rainbow authenticity. We have teachings about what we call the whirling rainbow. And that is, your chakras whirl in your system and light flows through you. And you are, in fact, internally a whirling rainbow of light. That's who you are. And if you work with that energy and let it flow through you, it will guide you to be who you are and give you the strength to be who you are, even in the dark, by the light of the moon. Reclamation, home, home. There is a home coming to to our connection with Earth, a homecoming to our own planet and ways that we're moving towards. This is our home, but we've been told we're only renting. We've been told we have to do or be or have or strive or anything to have a right. But this is our home. Creator gave us this right by growing us here, just like the trees. This is our home. And we are going to create it again as our home. That is our divine right. So you never have to worry because it's divinely inspired. Creator will support the light workers. But don't be deceived. It can be dark at times, and we must continue to be the light and shine. And we must let that rainbow light of divinity within us that comes from the divine Creator and is created within us to live, to be active. Let that whirling rainbow within you activate and be you. I think that's a really beautiful reading for us for this week. So I'm going to leave it there and just let you know how much I love you and honor you for being light workers all in your beautiful many permutations. And I leave a like, a subscribe if you like the content and want more of this and all of that. But really just take away the knowledge that you are loved and honored for the hard, good way that you are manifesting. Love ya. See ya. Remember, this is all for entertainment only.